Hi, everybody. I'm going to tell you about how to deal with when parents call into the help desk. So one thing that's legitimate that they call in for is access to view and pay a student's Pacific bill via the ePay system. The ePay system is also called Pay Student Account in the online tools site. So you'll see if you go to that site, there's two options, one for students and staff that asks for PUNet ID and password, and one for authorized user that asks for an email address and a password that's specific to this system. So how it works is a student will log in to the ePay site and say that they want to authorize another person to be able to view and pay their account. They'll put in an email address, and then the system will send an email to that person asking them to create a password specifically for their login to the ePay site. So if a parent has created that account but has just forgotten the password, you can have them go through the forgot password system here. That's a password remembering system that's completely different from anything related to PUNet ID. It's specific to that system. Or if a parent hasn't gotten that email or doesn't think they've gotten that email, you can advise them to have the student log in again and just do that authorized user send again. Just put in this parent's email address again, and it'll resend a new email. And of course, have the parent check spam folder just in case it ended up there. Another legitimate thing that parents might call for is they want to buy a computer for their student. This is most often the case with incoming freshmen. Best thing to do is have them make an appointment to talk with Helpdesk staff. And best way to arrange that is just create a help ticket on their behalf and assign it to Helpdesk. One of us can talk to them and we can give them information about, what programs tend to use what academic programs, what majors and disciplines tend to use, what kinds of computers, where to get the good deals on computers right now, stuff like that. We're happy to talk with some parents about that. Or if they want instant gratification right away, you can refer them to our knowledge base article in the service portal that has a lot of the same information. Just have them go to services.pacificu.edu and search for computer recommendations, and it should be the first thing that comes up. Another thing that's a little less legitimate is a parent who's calling because the student is having a problem, or the parent thinks the student is having a problem technology-wise, and they're trying to advocate for the student or solve the problem for that student. It's okay to give just general advice to a parent. Just the same general advice we would give to anyone, you can give to a parent. And often that advice is, hey, have your student bring their device into the help desk and we can help them. We don't want to let any complaint go undealt with and unheard. So if a parent does have a complaint, best thing to do is create a ticket. But it's important to when you're creating that ticket, get the parent's name and callback information, and also get an email address. Also get the student's name and callback information and email address, so we can put both in the ticket. What we'll most likely do is communicate primarily with the student to try to get their problem solved, and then maybe send a final email out to the parent saying, oh, I worked with your student and we solved this problem. The thing that parents call in for that is not legitimate is they want to get access to their student's information, or about their information about the student's account, or actually access to the account itself. And as far as our policies are concerned, a parent is no better than a complete stranger. If a complete stranger called up and said, I want information about this person's account, I want you to let me know if their account exists or is locked or is unlocked or what the username is, we would not give any of that information to a complete stranger, and we won't give it to a parent. Now, some parents will argue with you and they'll say, my student is under 18 and I'm their legal guardian, so I have a right to this information. And that is it's a misunderstanding. It's the law clearly says that when a student goes to college, even if they're under 18, their privacy is treated the exact same as an adult's privacy. And you don't have to argue the law with a parent. You can just tell them, this is how the policy was explained to me, and this is my understanding of the policy. And if they want to argue law, refer them to the registrar's office. The registrar's office is happy to argue law with a parent. Now, there are situations where a student can give us permission to talk to a parent about that student's account. But even if that's the case, we never give password to a parent. And anytime you get a sense that the parent is thinking about asking us for a password or asking their student for a password, it's a good time to tell the parent that our policy is that each person's password is known only to that person. And if we ever find out that a person's password is known by someone other than them, our policy requires us to lock that person's account and require a password change before the person can get back into the account. And hopefully that quashes that parent thinking, oh, wouldn't it be convenient for me to have my student's password? So to get permission to talk to a parent, it has to be live on the phone with the student. So we're talking with the parent. The parent says, well, can't you just, I'm helping the student. Can't you just talk to me about their account? And we can say, okay, if we get your student on the phone and they give us permission, then I can do that. So we get the student on the phone, we verify their identity, that they are who they say they are. It has to be live on the phone. And at that point, I would offer to help the student directly, just work with the student, say, oh, your parents said you were having this problem. Can I help you with that? Because that's going to be the easiest way for that student to get helped. If the student really does want us to talk to their parent, which can happen. I've had calls where a parent is very tech savvy and a student is not, and the student's like, I need my parents' help on this. I don't know what's going on. Then we can. The student just has to give us permission to work with the parent and give information about the student's account to the parent, everything except, of course, for password. This permission is one time only, so it's good for this call. There might be cases where we Helpdesk staff are working with a parent and a student on a ticket, and we might get permission for the entire scope of the ticket. But that's as far as it goes. We don't have any means of recording so that a parent can call back sometime later and get information about a student. We don't have a system to record that, and so we don't. And so it's really any time that the parent wants us to talk about their student's account, we got to get the student on the phone to okay it. Some parents have said, oh, my student's filled out a form, and I believe forms exist like that in other areas of the university and for other departments, but there is no form that is used by, recognized by the help desk for a student to say that their parent has permission. If a parent says that they have a form, you can say, well, that just doesn't apply to the help desk. All right, so last thing I want to say, just remember that we always want to, anyone who has a question, anyone who has a problem, we always want to have them leave the call with some route forward. It might not be exactly what they wanted, but at least we want them to have some way that they can see that they can continue working to get their problem resolved or their question answered. So we never want to say, I can't help you. We always say, I can't do that one thing that you're asking for, but here's some ways that you can help get you can work to get this problem resolved or this question answered. And that could be, that could be a help ticket where a staff member talks to them. It could be, references to self-help information on the knowledge base. There's lots of routes forward for a parent who has a question or a problem or a complaint that we can give them, even if we can't give them the exact thing that they're asking for. All right, thanks everyone. Let me know if you have any questions.